parcel?
Well, I think that's the sentiment of the board, that even though it's a separate parcel, it's part and parcel of that development, that expansion of the development. You can't make that happen to a property owner. I think that's the direction already. I think we know what to do.
All right.
For 049-2016, it's approved for the third release of funds related to the private improvements for the new Nuse Elementary School. The total reduction of $701,500 plus the $1,100.29 of interest.
So this is for continued site work that's been verified by our office on the plan. I'm recommending that reduction in the letter of credit. They have completed some of the improvements up there, including the main off-site improvement, which was the storm sewer to go through the Muse Fire Hall property, and that's all completed at this point. Was one of the major items, but that other items here that add up to this much money are all on-site issues, grading, stormwater controls, and other things that are taking place.
Any questions? Luis? We have a motion to approve that third release of funds.
I'll make that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The motion carries. Again, the 05026 relates to the Coleman Road Storm water project.
Sure. So as the board is aware, we did receive bids on February 22nd for the Coleman Road Storm Sewer project. The way this was broken down was that there was a base bid for the storm sewer work to occur from Route 50 up to Grange Road. Alternate bid number 1 was to take the storm sewers from Grange Road out to Route 980, and then we had alternate bids in there for installation of under drain on those two sections of road. We reviewed and tabulated bids. Low bidder for the project is R&B Construction out of West Mifflin. We have familiarity with R&B. They've done some other projects. In fact, they're on a project comparable to this size in another municipality that I'm working on right now. So they're a capable contractor to do the work. What I did was summarize for the board. It's really a money decision on how you want to approach this. And we presented you with, I'll call it a menu here that you can pick from. But what I wanted to summarize was all the capital projects that we talked about this year. The storm sewers now we have a bid in. What we think the best thing to do, if you want to consider the storm sewers, is to not take the alternate bid on the under drain, because we feel that price is about twice as much as what it should be paid for. And we think that we can take that and get a better price under the paving contract. So if you summarize the storm sewer bids, considering alternates 1 and 2, you add in the projected cost of the under drain, contract A, contract B, and contract C, which is the tar and chip contract. There's a total amount of expenditures expected at about $2.247 million on these capital projects. So it's your discussion tonight. I'm just presenting the information. Be glad to answer any questions for the board. Joe's here tonight also. Joe's the one that put the project out for bid and is really familiar with all the details if there's any questions.
Yeah, we need a breakdown so residents can hear. The 2.247 million, that's not only stormwater on Coleman, but it's also paving throughout the whole Council Road project.
That's correct. Contract A is paving that we're going to do under the liquid fuels contract. You want to know the roads?
Wait, no, I just start with the storm. We had a breakdown of the stormwater bid for Route 50 to Grange, and then a bid from the Grange Road to 980. Could you break that down?
Sure.
Part and parcel, that's 2.47 million.
So the part of storm sewer bid that would take it from Route 50 to Grange is $292,126.
Okay.
And then the part that would take it from Grange Road out to Route 980 is $159,700. So the two of those combined together is $451,826.
Now, one more thing, if you estimated, if you're right, you could get it for half the price of that under drain through the paving contract, what would half that price be if you were right and it came in that way?
That's about, it's $86,368.
The half?
The half number, yes.
Okay. All right, I think the point is this part is all related to the stormwater, which we all agreed has to be done before we spend money on the road, we need to take care of the water. The other thing that Dan brought to our attention was this amount is over $500,000 for that stormwater. If we do all the paving we talked about, the overall project is $2.247 million. So we didn't budget that much in our capital projects. So Don, can you just tell us basically what we budgeted for, what we have before we try to come up with that number?
In the 2016 budget, the board had budgeted $1 million for capital projects.
And what else towards paving?
And then there was a line item, but that was in-house through the Department of Public Works. It was about $300,000.
So basically, we have to take 1.2 million out of our the capital fund.
Correct.
Or if we award the whole bid as it was presented, we have to transfer 1.2 million from our general fund reserve account. And you want to be aware of that. When he first gave us estimates, we weren't anticipating doing all that work on that part of Coleman Road from Grange to 980. But since we were working with something with Mr. Bednar to keep the trucks off of that road and try to keep that as a weight-limited road, he's agreeing to have his trucks go another route. We have to fix that road. So if we spend money on Coleman from 50 to Grange, and then the trucks stay on the road, how long it's going to last, and we have more slides. So I think this jumps the cost of the whole paving project this year, but it's something we've got to decide if we want to do that. So I need a consensus from the board. If you award this bid, then that's half of our road budget that we've budgeted so far. So that only leaves us $500,000 to pave. So we have to come up with more money or scale back some of the paving. So it's up to the board now to decide that.
I think my position is, and has been clear for the last 3 years, all we're doing is talking about it. Let's get it done, get it over with, so that next year we'll have the other roads that need done. Can you hear me back there?
Mr. Geezer?
I don't know, we had a paving workshop here on Saturday. How do we get so out of alignment on these numbers, Dan? Is it the drainage you're saying is way over?
No, Frank, I don't think we're out of alignment on the paving. I think the paving is just as we discussed.
Okay.
We took your recommendations and we worked together and we got the paving number actually down. We did add a little bit more back in because we all agreed to beef up that section from Grange out to 980. I'm sorry, the piece that Bill did, we didn't originally have that being...
Yeah, from Russ Bednar's up to Grange Road. Instead of just overlaying that with top, I'd like to see some more binder placed on top of what the township did, because it is on a hill, and that's going to handle heavy truck traffic. But I think last year we spent with in-house liquid fuels and everything, we did like 2.2 million. And I think at the workshops we figured we would have gotten around that number again, and then we might have to scale back in the next couple of years because we are putting money out to pave roads with Elizabeth. I think we go ahead and do it and do the job right. Let's do it. Let's spend that money.
Yeah.
I just had a thought though of where would we put signage up on Coleman Road and put a weight limit, and we already have agreement that they will not use it.
We did a meeting with Mr. Bednar. He agreed to what we asked, which was to take his deliveries in via either 980, Coleman from 980 all the way into his site, or Grange all the way into his site. So he wouldn't be using the section from Route 50 to his driveway anymore. But that would just be used for motorists or patrons that would use that.
residents.
Yeah, so I've been working with the solicitor to put together an agreement that encompasses that. So we have a pretty good draft of an agreement together to get in front of Mr. Bender once the supervisors, are okay with it, and we can move forward. I think we just need to meet with him and go over that agreement and make sure there's some understanding.
So what's the weight limit on Coleman going to be, or 23.5 ton, or?
Basically, you want to talk on that one, Chris? That was,
I mean, I think it's a two-pronged approach. First, we would do potentially an agreement with Bednar where, just no deliveries via that route, regardless of weight. And then if we would establish a weight limit, we go through that process, which I don't have the information in front of me, to establish a working weight that road can handle. So.
Gateway's done enough work on that to have information for a study that they can actually make that recommendation to have a weight limit, right?
yeah, it would be more based, if we're going to improve the road, it wouldn't be based upon the structural integrity of the road, it would be more based upon the geometry of the road and anything. Yeah, so we can justify the weight limit.
But I understand, we're not awarding the paving bid tonight, this is just for the stormwater. But he's saying that if we do this extra work for the stormwater system, then if we did want to go over a certain amount of money in our budget this year on paving, then this is eating up a lot of it. So I think you've made yourself know that we're not awarding bids tonight, so they could come in a little different than what we're estimating. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, that's correct. And Joe and I, we already have the paving bids advertised. And we left enough flexibility, and we've already talked to Bill, we left enough flexibility in there if the prices come in higher than expected, that we'll be able to pull some things out, finish Coleman Road and get that done if necessary, or if the board wants to scale things back. I'm not promising anything, but Joe, the first bid you took in Oyster Bay were what, 10% lower than?
Yes, I mean, with the price of oil being down, the prices are coming in much better than expected.
Yeah, so we would anticipate maybe our numbers are a little,
I might be a little bit high, but, I don't think I'm extremely good. I think I was basically using the same unit prices as last year with the cost estimate. Now that the price of oil went down.
I think asphalt's down like $3 a ton right now from where it was last year.
Well, if you're right, Frank, and actually the asphalt price index is $140 down per ton this last February. The liquid.
yeah, liquid asphalt. But that being said, what I'm just telling the board is there'll be a lot of flexibility. The contract A we have is liquid fuels. You don't have a lot of flexibility in that. And in contract B, we build in alternates, and we always reserve the right within the contract B to add or delete streets. So you'll have a menu to pick from, depending upon what the budget comes in at. If you need to scale anything back or take out a road, Bill and I have already talked about at least maybe putting off Ridgewood, the roads in Ridgewood until next year after they're done over there with development, making sure that's all. So we'll give you flexibility.
So A was the paving, contract B was the alternatives? and then
Well,
C-
contract A is under liquid fuels, so that's being paid for under liquid fuels money that the township gets from the state. So when you do a liquid fuels contract, you have to be very distinct on what you're paving. You can't have any really deviations or changes from what you did. So it doesn't give you very much flexibility. So contract A is other streets within the township that we discussed at our paving meeting. And those streets we expect to come in at that number, and that's what's bid, and that's what will be approved by PennDOT for that work. Contract B is an independent contract of the township. It's not under liquid fuel scrutiny or scrutiny of PennDOT. So you will have flexibility within contract B to do what you want. And the same with contract C also.